Now, after the League had left after Ujiku's office, they're actually going to battle the hugging giant. Giant to did I get sorry, did I get his name right? Giant Tuma Shia, which to earn his full collaboration, they need to seduce him. And we sedate him, which they actually trying to do it, but more than a month and a half has I mean, since that actually had passed, which it had yet to acknowledge Shigaraki, in which for 48 hours and 44 minutes straight, this monster didn't actually want to stop. It just keep on attacking them without a second thought. And after that, he'll actually sleep for 3 hours before continuing his attack, which his body actually grows larger during battle. And well, no matter how Shigaraki get around or where he actually is tends to hide, he'll always find him, no matter where he is or how he pick up his scent, because according to him, his nose and ears are actually really sharp, and which even that someone is trying to attack him in his sleep, he will actually retreat in an instant and go back on assault, which means that if someone tries to attack him, then he'll go run away and be on a full rage, in which this has been a situation for the last month and a half, and also Shigaraki has barely slept at all. And despite the fact that he's actually been sleeping in his life, and his life is hanging by the balance in the hands of the monster, for some other reason, he is always still smiling. And that's actually leave the league, since Jagatoma Mishia only target has always been his master's successor. He won't actually chase them very far, even when they're actually retreating. So they're actually going to take turns and resting for short, a very long period, in which they're actually going to do that while working hard to sedate the monster. In other words, they're actually taking turns of battling the monster, in which they actually did receive a a minimum amount of fundings from the doctor. But as expected, they actually did got him to get them an offer them his full support, and he actually gave them a small amount of money, in which they actually had Toga went and bought herself a coat, which she actually wore during the winter, since it is mid-December, in which she actually enjoys that coat, in which she actually loves the people that she actually loves, which I'm not gonna name names, but we actually seen Spinner actually talks about how the monster is still active, in which Shigaraki is actually beaten while he actually trying to sedate the monster. which he actually got a call. I mean, sorry, which twice got a call from Giron, which we never seen him since the camp attack, in which we actually seen him going off about not answer why he actually haven't him answer Mr. Compress phone calls, because he actually knew that he's going to find out who's calling him, in which he actually knew that it wasn't Girin, but it was someone who's actually using his phone. In other words, we actually seen someone who actually using someone else's phone, in which 3 days ago, in front of the villainous Yakuza organization, Shin Hasai Kai boss residence, a middle finger was actually found. And by that I meant the middle finger was actually cut, and also following that, on the Hosushi terminal, the pointer finger was also found. Now, authorities actually did believe that the fingers were actually belonging to the same person, and so they actually found variable clothing items that was actually thought that they were belonging to the victims. But although the scarf, the sunglasses were actually left at the scene of the crime, and police are actually theorizing that this attack was actually organized a crime, which means that someone is actually making a statement. Around the same time, on ground zero in the Kimino ward, a thumb was actually found. So we actually knew someone is cutting up body parts, in which a pinky finger was actually found in the center of Fukuoka, which we knew that was actually where Endeavor's fierce battle was actually there, which someone is actually making a statement to the League, which we actually knew that the Riddispro, the leader of the Superpower Liberation Squad, is calling them, which means that someone actually knew this could be trouble, which the League actually knew something was wrong, and which we actually seen Destro actually pick up a bottle of wine to celebrate their victory. Which, that being said, that they're actually going to their broker and they're going to call him back, and which Destro actually pour a glass of wine while they actually have Garion tied up in a chair while he was beaten and tortured, as we actually knew something was actually wrong, because we actually seen the rest of the members, Tumu Yasu, Shika Suku, and the Heartseeker political party leader Koku Hanabata, and the secretary director of Susha Shitotsi Kisuki, and the CEO and the director of the support company Riki Riki Yosubashi, and they're actually getting ready to fight the League, in which they knew the League could be in trouble, and now we're actually gonna find out what the League's gonna do, since they're actually knew they're going to crush the Liberation Army, in which this actually means that they're actually going to release their powers, in which if they actually do, they actually got some demands, which they're actually going to release both going to release their powers, and they're going to come to Deka City in Achi, in which they're actually going to do that. And if they do, they're going to release Garen, and the choice is actually Shigaraki's, in which if he's going to fight them and perish, or get captured by the heroes and actually be wiped out of the map, which that actually means that we're actually going to see a war between the League of Villains versus the Superhero Liberation Army. So we're actually going to see how this will end up. Now, we knew that Garen was actually caught by the Superpower Liberation Army. So we're actually going to see how the League gonna rescue him. But what I'm more worried is about the heroes going to put a stop of the war, which this is now a turf war. So we're going to see how the heroes going to respond to that very soon. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment up what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy John here saying signing out. Laters.